Can you tell us what story about?
This story is talking about Susan and Matthew married in their late 20s. Their marriage is based on the italic. They have 4 children and 2 of them are twins. All their friends and family think they are a perfect couple. Both of Susan and Matthew have wonderful jobs. However, after their children are born, Susan quits the job and becomes a housewife. In one night, Matthew tells Susan that he had one night stand with another woman. Susan forgives Matthew because she didn't believe people will be faithful for each other forever in the marriage. After Matthew's confession, Susan became crazier. She started to have illusion of seeing a devil. She even believes there is a devil around her. She suspects Matthew might go out with another woman when he is not at home. So she tries to find some housework to do, but she becomes increasingly anxious. She tells Matthew that she needs some space for being alone, so Susan wants to be free. She creates a room on the top floor for being alone, but it doesn't work. Therefore, Susan begins to rent a room in the hotel near her house and lies to the hotel manager about herself. She must face the housekeeper complaint that she couldn't make any decision when Susan wasn't at home. She feels she has been bounded. Susan and Matthew hire a tutor for replacing what Susan needs to do at home. After the tutor Sophie's coming, Susan rents the room 19 in Fort Hotel. She feels comfortable when she stays at that hotel, so she extends her lease term. Matthew suspects Susan has an affair with another man and Susan admits it. Matthew tells Susan he also has an affair with a woman who Susan already knows her. Matthew suggests they can have double date together. Susan didn't know where to find a man to pretend her affair. She goes back to the room 19 and decides to commit suicide.
Okay, so what do you think the real freedom is?
I think the real freedom is the situation of not causing other people's problems or affecting other people, and we can just be ourselves.
Okay, so do you think if Susan had freedom in the short story to room 19 or not?
I think Susan has freedom because she has free love and she can choose the person who she wants to marry for. After she gets married, she has housekeeper to help her working on the housework. In my opinion, that kind of marriage is a lot of women want to have. In addition, she decides to take care of their baby at home, not Matthew force her to do it.
But I think Susan didn't have freedom in the story because she won't bound her in her husband and children. Even though she escaped the house, she's still annoyed with her family and she cared about love of children. Susan's husband told her that she can go to work after their children grew up. Therefore, I think she was trapped in her marriage and family. So, if everything Susan did was because of love, then why she started to have illusion? Why did Susan want to escape to the small room?
I think the evil of heart began on the moment when Susan's husband, Matthew, assumed to her that he had one night stand with a young lady after a party. That night, Susan had an evil of heart and then started to annoying her mind.
I think in her heart there is a voice and evil telling her that she wants to have her own space. Therefore, she is eager to have her own space. In the beginning, she assigned a room for herself in the house. However, she found out she still cannot completely feel freedom or have her own space in the house. Therefore, she just wanted to escape from the house. She rented a room near her house and she pretended she was others and she was sick. And she didn't want anyone to bother her. However, the owner of the hotel, she was concerned about Susan's situation. So she knocked her room door and asked about her situation. For Susan, bothering her it was not enough because all she wanted was not bothering her at all. Finally, she found a hotel which she felt the most comfortable. No one knew her and no one talked to her, and it had been for a long time she felt the freedom.
But I'm wondering then why their family have such big change after Susan has her own space.
Because I think she was eager to have her own space. It was once a week in the beginning, then became 3 times a week. Finally, she ran the room 5 days a week. She spent most of her time there and not caring about her family and housework anymore.
In my opinion, Susan wanted to keep the room 19, so she thought that they should hire a tutor to replace her being a housewife. Therefore, she pursued her husband to hire a tutor, Sophie, and Susan's family has changed hugely.
Yes, and after that, her husband Matthew started to have an affair. So, above all the things happened, do you think Susan's still a freedom one? If so, why does she decide to commit suicide in the end?
In my opinion, Susan had to use the lie to cover that she believed herself was sick. After Matthew suggests they can have double date together, Susan cannot find that fake man. So she decided to commit suicide. She has trapped by herself. So I don't think she still had freedom.
Oh, so I think Susan didn't have freedom even if she escaped to room 19. She only had temporary freedom which she didn't need to face her family and husband. However, when it was the time to leave the room 19, she still needed to live the original life and was still trapped in her family.
Well, I think she knew that because of her behavior. She had affected her family and she wanted to have freedom, which had lost for years. And finally, she got it back again. Of course, she didn't want to lose the freedom again. However, she didn't want to influence her family or make them worry about her. Therefore, the only way that she would feel the freedom forever is that only when she died, nothing she needed to care about, and nothing her family needed to worry about her anymore.